Welcome to the Board Game Barbecue Podcast, episode 341, brought to you by Advent Games, More Than Meeples, and our amazing Patreons, who, for me, I got to catch up with a bunch of them at PlayCon this year. It was great, awesome. I'm also joined by Jules.
Hello.
How you doing? You haven't been on since we were at PlayCon last either.
No, I haven't. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, right? Also, Dana. Dana, mate, how you going?
Hello.
Hello. You were on last time.
Oh,
You got to
was
talk
I?
about all your PlayCon stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy just to sit and listen.
Perfect.
So shut up.
Yeah, getting there. PlayCon this year was great. Like, I won't say too much about it because everyone kind of covered a lot of it last week. Really appreciate everyone that showed up for us, supported the event, and a lot of the volunteers who were sort of changing roles on the fly, and, you know, people who were stepping up and teaching games that they weren't necessarily kind of assigned to, and all the little things that just sort of happened along the way. We just really appreciated. And for me, it was a different type of event this year because last year it was obviously just heads down, work, and made sure everything functioned. I think this year ran a little bit smoother despite having more things to do and more things on offer. However, I did have my doppelganger 4-foot wingman with me. And he had a blast. He had an absolute riot. He was challenging everybody to sea salt and paper games and decimated a few people, and a few people were quite close, and he was quite concerned that he might lose, but he managed to come away with 0 losses after. Yeah, just such a funny experience watching him like talking to Ian O'Toole about how does he make the pipes so straight in pipeline was like another highlight. What a funny, strange conversation to have. But yeah, it was great. I think he was awesome. He had a great time. It was nice for him to catch up with people that he obviously knows from my birthday and from the game days. So there were people there that he knew. So for me, it was just, absolutely tops. And massive thank you to anyone that kept him entertained for 5 minutes or chatted to him or engaged with him in some capacity. But I mean, one of the conversations that I didn't think was going to happen was he was just standing there talking to Bobby Hill about Fortnite, about this season's Fortnite and what he thought about that. And I thought that was just really funny and really random. So
yeah, it looked like he had a great time.
Yeah, he was cooked every single day. When it hit like the 10 p.m. mark, he looked like something from The Walking Dead. He looked like an extra from the background, like the zombies. He was absolutely out of it. Like, he was almost like you couldn't talk to him because nothing went into his head because he was so tired.
And he was sick as well. So
he did get sick as well.
I definitely caught him napping a few times in the back room.
That's great because I never did. Every time I went in there, he would be playing like Roadblocks, but he'd have Brooklyn Nine-Nine on picture-in-picture, like multitasking. And I was like, mate, I thought you were coming in to have a nap. He's like, I can't. And I'm like, of course you can't, because you're playing this and you're, watching a show. Like, that's never going to work for you. How about you, Jules? PlayCon this year was a bit different?
Yeah, it felt a little bit different, but it was so good. It had the same vibe as last year, but it was really nice to see people that had come last year and come again and make new friends and all of that sort of stuff. So I played maybe a couple more games than I did last year, and that wasn't a lot, but it was still heaps of fun just seeing the community having a great time.
But you, my friend, have been away for the last few days or week and a bit.
Yeah.
And you've been at the biggest of the biggest, I'd say, in Gen Con. So how was your Gen Con this year and how did it come?
Yeah, look, Gen Con was just as busy. So it sold out again this year. They had all the sold out signs plastered all over the place before the first day. I was there in a capacity not for Board Game Barbecue, although I'd love to do that one day. But I was there working for Good Games Publishing. So I was helping run a booth at Gen Con this year, staffing it and demoing games and selling games. So you might have seen, if you came to PlayCon, there was a game on display called 12 Rivers, which is the new game published by Good Games Publishing. It's a fun sort of kinetic worker placement game with set collection and recipe fulfillment. That's probably the high notes of the things you do in that game. And that was our main game, which we were selling at Gen Con, along with Citrus, which is a new one, and some games from last year, and Land vs. Sea previewing the expansion, which is on Kickstarter right now, actually, as well. But Gen Con was crazy. We did a little bit of marketing leading up to it, and we had lines, massive lines of people trying to get 12 Rivers, people running from you would have thought they were running in Jurassic Park, running from something to get to our booth. It was absolute mayhem, and it was so wild to see the hype and the pandemonium of people trying to get their hands on 12 Rivers, which is very exciting for us because we sold just over 200 copies of it in the first hour on day one of Gen Con.
Oh,
day 2, we sold all 100 and something copies we had in the first 20 minutes of the second day. And then the third day, I just put the rest of the stock we had available, which is another 100 copies or so, and that disappeared in 15 minutes. And we had lines. We had way more people lining up than we had copies to sell. So it was really, really cool to have that on the booth. We didn't have that sort of hype for anything last year. We had to grind our way through the sales, through demos. And we did sell out Curses and Covens last year. That was the new thing. But it was through hard work, right? This year was marketing beforehand, and then people just going nuts and running for their lives for the booth to try and get a copy of the game, which was really, really fun. But apart from working for Good Games Publishing there, I didn't really get much of my own time to go do things. I picked up some stuff, mostly expansions. I picked up the new Pixies expansion there, Sea Salt and Paper expansion, the extra pepper one. I got all the promos and new expansion for Rebel Princess. And in terms of games, there's only 2 I bought. One which I'll mention in a few minutes, but I got Line of Fire Burnt Moon, which is the new David Thompson and is it Trevor Benjamin? I think those are the duo, the guys who designed Undaunted together.
Mm.
But it's using a similar system but put in a lane battler card game, which is really cool. And I actually got David Thompson to sign my copy of it. He was there. I didn't recognize him though. I was talking to this guy. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got this on order in Australia, but I see you've got it now. I think I will pay more now, but I'll have it, and that's kind of cool. And I was like, oh, we've interviewed the designer before on our podcast. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm David. I'm like, what? He was pulling my leg the whole time, which was really funny. And then we took a photo together and he signed that copy for me, which was really, really cool. And the other game I bought was from All Play called Ruins. Oh, who's the designer that does Mystic Vale? John DeClaire.
John DeClaire.
Yeah, John DeClaire game with transparent cards that you stack in it, but it's a card shedding game, which is, I've only played about half a game at the moment because I didn't have much time during Gen Con. Even in the evenings I was busy working. But that was a really fun game as well. So it was mostly expansion pickups for me, and I bought some miniature painting stuff. I'm wearing a Kingdom Death shirt, which I picked up, which was really cool. But yeah, it was manic, busy, fun, crazy all at the same time.
How many volunteers do you have working for you?
We had 7 staff working for us.
Are they all Australian or are they from...
No, so we had... No, well, there was one Canadian and the rest were either LPG staff, Let's Play game staff, or there is a group of guys that do a lot of playtesting for Good Games Publishing. They're all based in America. And so that's the time for them to all come together and hang out in person. We rent an Airbnb and all hang out together and play games afterwards. It's good fun.
Did you see Tom Bassel? I have to ask.
I saw him several times.
Oh.
I saw him several times because he was supposed to come by the booth and pick up a copy of 12 Rivers, but I saw the rest of the gang from the Dice Tower first and handed it to them and then told Tom, don't worry, I've already given it to your team. So, yeah. No, he was floating around.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He's hard to miss.
Yeah, I know. God. What was the highlight? Like, did you travel afterwards? Because last year you did. You went on a road trip.
Yeah. Last year we went to Chicago for a day and went and saw a baseball game. This year I was very lucky. Well, look, I worked hard, but also very lucky. We spent 2 days in Hawaii on the way home.
Oh, wow.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really good fun.
Yeah, you don't look like you've got the complexion of someone who's been to Hawaii.
Well, look, I put a lot of sunscreen on. It was very hot there.
Actually, there 2 days. Like, he's not going to get that much for tan in 2 days.
He's very white.
He's inside Gen Con playing games for 12
I was just about to say, like inside for like a week.
And he's been in our winter like for the past 3 months. So
yeah,
I remember that though, like especially going home in the UK, like when they'd been through a winter, they looked so white, like so pasty because there's just very limited sun. And if you work an office job, you might go from your car into the office, work all day, then you come back out and it's dark.
It's dark, yeah.
You arrived when it was dark. It's crazy.
For me, the highlight of Gen Con was just, again, meeting people that I've talked with online, who we've interviewed on the podcast, just seeing these people face to face, seeing the guys from Chip Theory Games again, meeting Dave Beck in person from Pavison Games. Obviously, I mentioned I met David Thompson, said hello and took a photo with Andrew Bosley.
Wow.
So there's just, lots of people that have come on the podcast and been involved in our community one way or another. Just saying hello, giving them a hug and saying hi in person is definitely the highlight for me.
It's funny, like for me, I look at those people and I really look up to them, and I think I really get tongue-tied when I speak. I'm sure it's going to be like that one day when I meet Tom Bassel, but I imagine, and people sort of say, do you understand that actually people don't even know who these people are? It's such a small hobby. But to me, they're like celebrities. I don't know. I can't imagine them being like normal people. So
yeah, they're normal people and they work hard. But yeah, it's just great because we obviously live so far from the rest of the board game sphere, which is very American centric and European centric. So it's just great meeting these people, and they have such a surprised look when you're there, and because I didn't prearrange to meet any of these people, but I did have, when I was demoing at the booth, I had 2, maybe 3 people that I can remember that were talking and watching the demos, and they're like, "Oh, you guys from Australia?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, I listened to a podcast called Board Game Barbecue." I'm like, "Hey, that's me," and they were just like, shocked. They were just like, "Oh my goodness, I love you guys." So it was really cool having a couple of those moments at Gen Con, just listeners randomly bumping into me, which was really cool.
That's wonderful.
Actually, yeah, one of them was like, "You sound a lot like a guy on a podcast I know." So that was really fun. Gen Con was great fun. Really enjoyed it.
It definitely sounds pretty cool having that different buzz around the booth with having a new title that's very sought after. It gives a very different vibe. And I suppose, like, how would you gauge how many copies you even needed to take? Because essentially you could have almost taken double.
Yeah.
If you could have got them produced but then maybe you took double and you didn't sell double.
And that is one of the things that we talked about at length, but it's the benefit of hindsight, right? We 100%. Didn't know what hype there would be for the game, and probably until 7 to 10 days out from Gen Con, which is way too late to make a call on shipping things there.
100%.
So I estimate we probably could have sold triple the amount we did. So we sold 570-ish copies at Gen Con. I reckon we could have sold 1,500 copies based on the lines that we had. And Sunday, the last day, we sold everything. We had no more copies available for sale. And the demo tables were full all day with crowds around them the whole day. So it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that were demoing the game as well. So we started directing people to the email list, and we'll email people when the game goes to retail, which will be in October. It's not very far away at all.
Did Citrus do well as well?
Yeah, we sold a bit of Citrus as well. It's a bigger, heavier game, hard one to demo. But if people remember, it was a Kickstarter probably 3-4 years ago at this point. So there's been quite a bit of development, both gameplay and component-wise, for that one. But it's all ready and will hit retail very shortly as well.
Hmm. Well, it's certainly a stunner on the table.
Oh yeah, it's a big one on the table for sure.
Sick. Right. Well, let's talk about some games. I'll kick it off. I got to play a few different games at PlayCon. One of them Connor spoke about last week, and it was the Foundations of Rome game. Like, I think it might be called like the Caesar edition or something. It has like a fancy name because it essentially is massive and it has upgrades of everything. And it was Manny's copy that was all beautifully painted, and we spoke about it before. Phenomenal. What a great experience. And it was great because it was me, Finn, Manny, and Connor, and Finn got second and for some weird reason was like trying to explain that in the photograph that was taken of him, and it's just him flipping off the camera with the two. Like it just looks like he's flipping the camera off, which I thought was great. But yeah, it was just a really smooth, great game, great experience. I can't explain how simple it is. Like it's so smooth, so simple. It doesn't look it when you're pulling out all these trays and these miniatures and that. You think, oh god, there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah,
there is a lot going on, but it's just simple in its play, and you can really get some cool scores and some cool combos. But the look of it looks like very overwhelming at the start. But yeah, great game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved it. And then the other one that I played was Joyride Survival of the Fastest. Has anyone played this?
No, I haven't played that. All I remember was like some controversy around the game when it first launched about, I think it was to do with like someone stealing design elements or something. But
really? Oh, okay.
yeah, that came out when it first came out, but I think people have forgotten about it now.
I mean, had an absolute blast. And we played me, MJ, G Money, and Bobby. It was like, I can't fully explain it, but essentially you have these slots on your little tableau, which is essentially a car with upgrades and guns that you can fire and oil slicks and all this other little stuff. You roll some dice, then you decide that you can turn, and then you roll the dice, and essentially that's how far you move. So you could turn the car and move a little bit, and that's great. But you could just turn the car, roll way too high, and smash into the wall. But it is kind of like, I want to say like a destruction derby rather than a race, because the track, imagine like a figure of 8 track, but the top also is filled in, so you can sort of loop around that top section. There's markers that you just have to cross. You don't have to sort of drive through and follow a continuous line. And that actually happened to MJ. She managed to cross the line, do a 3-point turn around, and get back. She was last and managed to hit Bobby on the last corner, turning him sideways, so he had to go straight into the wall, and she just pipped over the line, and she had 6 damage of the 7 damage on her car. Her car just putted over the line and just made it. It was almost blown up and out of the game, but it was brilliant. And he'd played it before. Bobby had mentioned that he played it before a couple of times, and he'd never seen someone take that much damage. It was so proud because it still works. It still shows you can win no matter sort of what your strategy may or may not be. But it was just an absolute hoot. It's quite silly fun, even though you're sort of thinking and trying to, do the best you can. It's not too intense. And yeah, because you're bashing into each other and turning each other's cars in directions that potentially can help other players or hinder them. It's just great. Yeah, I really loved it. Had a great experience with it. Would play again in a heartbeat. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
what about yourself?
I love the artwork of that game. It looks very cool.
Yeah, very cool, very bright, and very.
There's lots of different versions, aren't there? From memory.
Well, like of the box cover.
Yeah, there seems to be when you look at it on BGG, there's quite a few.
Is it modules or expansions?
Versions.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, but yes, I agree. The artwork is stunning.
It's a very striking cover. Hey, Dana, what about yourself?
I've been on my ladies' gaming weekend.
Is that the one? I know I say this a lot. Is this the one that happens once a year? That's actually
like 10 times a year.
It's like 10 times.
We're up to number 6, and we're having another one in October.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. So yeah, we had the ladies' gaming weekend, which was very nice. We played a game called World Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if you've seen it on the shelf before.
Haven't played it, but I've seen it.
So it's a polyomino game. And if you can imagine this group of ladies, they're like me. They're very refined and quiet, like me.
Yeah.
Well, we played a 5-player game of this World Wonders, and there are a couple of almost table flip moments in this game. It is very, very thinky. You've got a board in front of you, and you're placing polyomino tiles. There's roads, buildings, monuments, and then you've got like your own player board where you're sort of going up these resource tracks as well, which will score you points. But everything in this game, and as I said, there's roads, towers, buildings, monuments, everything has placement rules. Everything that you place affects something else, and they're all different, and something needs to be next to a green building, and then it must be next to a road, but also next to a bush. It's extremely thinky, and this 5-player game took us, I reckon it was at least 3.5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Something like that. It went on. It was a really, really long game. And one lady said she even used a swear word, which she never swears. And she said, I hate this game.
Oh no.
However, I will say that I actually really enjoyed it. It's just not meant to be played at 5. It's 5 players is just too difficult, and it's too long, because one of the attractions of this game, if you have seen it, is it's got these beautiful wooden meeples, monument meeples.
Lovely.
They are so beautiful. And this is the base game. Like, it's not a Kickstarter or anything like that. So they're really beautiful. Like, you've got the pyramids of Giza, and you've got the Colosseum, and all different world wonders that you're going to be placing on your board. And they're all beautifully painted. But there's a lot of competition to get these monuments, because it's one of the main ways of scoring points in the game. To set up these, as I said, the placement restrictions are so strict that if you've been working on setting up, getting the pyramids or whatever, and someone takes it before you in a 5-player game, it's extremely frustrating. So we had to sort of add in quite a few sort of like house rules to make it not quite so frustrating. I did play it again actually at 2 players. It plays very well at 2, and I would recommend 2 or 3, but I wouldn't go any more than that, because it is just...
BGG says best at 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes that can be a crippling experience for a game, right? You play it at 5 because you want to include everybody, but then it just falls so flat and it just takes too long. And then once you've realized it, it's too late. You're like locked in. You're like, let's just see it out for the end. And you might be another hour, and you're like, we should just cancel this an hour ago. You know,
well,
same problem with Wingspan at 5.
Stop it. I told you.
I know.
Flock mode. I told you this.
Does flock mode work at 5 though? Isn't it 6?
Yes. No, we played at 5 on the weekend.
Ah, okay. Didn't know
Works
that. I thought it had to be 6.
Nah, works at 5.
Okay. I like flock mode. I've done that at 6-player. But if you don't do flock mode, that's bad.
Oh yeah, it's horrendous. This poor lady, as I said, she's very, very quiet and all that. At about the hour and a half mark, was like losing her SHIT. And she had another hour and a half or 2 to go.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, so bad.
But
So
anyway,
sad.
I will say that I enjoyed it at 2 and 3. So there you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's World Wonders.
And yourself, Jules, did you manage to play any little things at Gen Con or anything like that?
I've actually got a bunch of games from before Gen Con. Well, before and after Gen Con that I've been wanting to talk about. So Bitewing Games sent 2 of their new games, Ichor and Iliad, which were, I don't know they were like Greek mythos themed board games. I've played both of them. I didn't love Iliad that much. That one was sort of playing square tiles in this grid, and you see who has the highest numbers, and they get first choice of these point tokens at the ends of the rows. To me, that one felt kind of obvious in the decision space about what the best play would be. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way my brain works, but to me, it didn't take long to calculate the options and go, okay, that's probably the best move. And it just felt, it didn't feel very exciting to me. But Ichor, on the other hand, I really enjoyed that one. So that one is you're moving these different gods and heroes from mythology around. As you move them across the board, you're going to drop markers along the path that they move, and you're trying to get all your markers on the board. And there's all sorts of powers, like some heroes can jump over other pieces, and some of them push your enemies around. And it feels very chess-like, but there's lots of crazy fun powers to get them all out. And the fun thing is when you move over your opponent's pieces that have been put out, you push them all off the board and give them back to your opponent. So it's a big back and forth tug of war trying to put all your pieces on the board. And I found it really fun. They did send the expansion with it that just added more characters, so there's a bit more variety in there as well. But Ichor was heaps of fun. If you like chess, that's what it feels like. It's trying to outmaneuver and plan a few moves ahead so that this hero, all of them have like a once per game power to be aware of as well that can be really powerful if you set things up at the right moment.
You said it was like chess. Does it mean it's 2-player only? Or?
Yeah, it's 2-player only. And the other one I wanted to mention that I have played post Gen Con now was the game that David Thompson signed, Line of Fire Burnt Moon. So as I mentioned, it's built on the Undaunted system. So, but it's a deck building lane battler. So you have a starting deck, and each round you'll play one card to see who takes initiative. Exactly the same as Undaunted. So highest card will get to go first, and then you play all of your cards. You have a display of other cards in which you'll recruit them into your deck to build the deck. And you've got A and B type robots in this one instead of battalions or units like you do in Undaunted. And you're assigning them to lanes in order to try and get control of them. So they have defense and attack values. You can move them across lanes, and you're either trying to get a total of 8 victory points across the 5 different locations you could possibly control, or you're trying to wipe off all of the Moss type robots from your opponent's side of the board, because that's the only robot that has the control action to actually try and take control. It's just got a lot of clever timing elements and some fun decisions in there, because it's not one of those games where if you have more units on your side, you automatically take control. You actually have to take the action to take control with the Moss type unit. There's units that are more defensive, units that are more attacking. There's ones that are kind of the equivalent of scouts, where if you play them into a location that's empty, you don't have to take, I'm going to use the equivalent card, the Fog of War cards like you have in Undaunted. But in these ones, it's interference, signal interference. So you're managing the interference cards in your deck, and it's the timing and actions are a little bit different than Undaunted because it's not a map and you're moving units around like in that. But there's so much of the DNA that's the same. So if you don't want to have a World War II theme, or you're not into literally dudes on a map shooting each other, there's no dice rolling in this game. It's just playing cards and comparing values and attacking each other. It's a lot more deterministic. There's no luck in it other than, did you pull the right cards you need for that round? Did you build your deck right to do the things that you're wanting to do? But it's just a very tight 2-player lane battler using the Undaunted system, and it's got really cool artwork. It's very, very striking.
It does look great.
Looks like Radlands or something like that.
It's got that vibe. But I think they built it in the universe of the new Castillo Undaunted, the futuristic one.
Oh, wow, cool. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, just a really tight, easy to learn 2-player head-to-head lane battle on the Undaunted system. So that's Line of Fire Burnt Moon.
Yeah, nice. Well, these games all sound pretty awesome. However, we have chosen a sizzling game each this week. Garfield Games, the team behind Raiders of the North Sea, Architects of the West Kingdom, Wayfarers of the South Tigris, Hadrian's Wall, Legacy of You, and much more, have been quietly working on something completely new. Right now, on Kickstarter, their secret project is gathering followers for its pre-launch page. And here's the twist. The more people who follow, the more clues Garfield will reveal. Head to garfield.com/secret to follow the project and uncover the secrets. So, Dana, do you want to kick us off?
So I have been meaning to sizzle this for a while, just haven't. And it's not really even talked about. It's kind of one of those games. I put a post on Facebook this week, I think, about games that just seem to, they come, there's a little bit of excitement and then they're just forgotten. I think maybe this one is a little bit as well, even though it's a quite recent game, and it's called Wondrous Creatures. And it's by the same people that published Wild Serengeti and Life of the Amazonia. So same people. So it's like, first of all, it's a stunning game, and I don't know whether that's part of their their plan, but all of their games are like that. But this one in particular is really beautiful. So you've got this beautiful map, and the idea is that you've discovered this magical island. It's filled with all these whimsical creatures. On your turn, you get these crew members, which are whimsical creatures in themselves. You've got unicorns and dinosaurs and all sorts of things. And you send these crew members out onto this hexagonal map where you can gather resources and you can capture other creature cards, or you can snatch eggs, and you use butterfly nets to do it. And it's really, really cute. So it's basically a worker placement / tableau builder. That's probably what I would. And it's a bit of a race. Your head worker is called a captain, and you get these, as I said, you get these meeples, and your captain meeple, and these are all beautifully hand-painted, I should say, beautifully hand-painted wooden pieces. And your captain meeple sits on top of one of the creatures, and it's beautiful because it's got magnets inset into it, and they just snap on beautifully. So when your captain is an upgrade that you can do throughout the game. So once you get that upgrade throughout the course of the game, you can snap your little captain meeple, and he gets an extra special ability. The island board, when you look at it, it's made up of these hexes with lakes and mountains and other habitats. And this is probably the unusual thing. With these meeples, they're quite long. And so you'll be placing these meeples to get resources, but they'll sort of go over 2 different hexes. So it's not like you're placing it on one spot and then getting the thing. You're having to place it in such a way where you're adjacent to the right resources that you want and the right actions that you want to take. But also not just about getting resources. It's not the only way, but it's the major way that you get cards in the game. You don't really draw cards unless you play a card to get cards. Mm-hmm. That's the main way to get cards. So it's quite a challenge when you're playing with, it plays up to 4, by the way. It's quite a challenge placing these elongated meeples in the right way to probably block opponents, but also get the cards and the resources that you need. So I think it's quite different. I don't think I've seen anything like that before, where you're placing meeples over 2 different sort of spots, but it's really nice. And the hexes that are around it, they have resources, but they also have these cool little nifty benefits that you can do with your net. You sort of catch them in this butterfly net, and there's things like eggs, which will give you almost like a tag that you'll need for achievements and things like that. But you can do other things as well, and this is where you can sweep the market and draw cards and other things as well. So most of the resources that you get, you have a dual layered, and you'll just be tracking these resources. You'll use those resources to play cards into your tableau, and by the end of the game, you'll probably play 20 cards. So it's you've got quite a tableau brewing, but it's really satisfying. Some cards just sort of give you an instant benefit. Some will activate when you recharge, and recharging is bringing your workers back. Some will be an ongoing benefit. Some are for end of game scoring, but it's really, really satisfying when you can create these combos. And the timer in the game is these achievements, and they give you probably a large portion of your points at the end of the game. But it is a race to get these, and it's largely playing cards of a specific type. You are just trying to play cards of a specific type and trying to get there before everybody else. So to try and just get the right cards, get the resources at the right time, and place your meeples at the right time, it's really, really thinky. And I must say, like, the word head scratching is probably something that comes to mind when I play this game. I'm just sort of sitting there in that pose with my hands on my head thinking, now what am I doing?
Do you have the expansions?
I do, yes.
Oh, wow. And you can bundle it all in at once?
Yeah.
What it looks like, it just adds like variability, right, rather than more mechanics?
It does, but it adds, one of them is really cool. There's a beasts expansion, which I actually quite like. And this is everybody can recruit one beast during the game, but the beast you get comes asleep, so it doesn't activate straight away. So you have it in front of you, and it'll give you extra end game scoring and another something that you can do, different to everybody else, an asymmetrical ability. But you have to play cards of a certain type to be able to wake up this beast. That becomes another focus as well. So I actually really like the expansions. They're actually great. But you could quite easily play the base game. And there are about I think there's 121 cards. They're all unique.
Wow.
And the artwork is beautiful. And they've all got unique names. And actually, I do when I've played, we spend a lot of time just admiring the artwork. And I was reading some of the comments on BGG, and people were saying the same thing, that I just keep looking at the cards all the time. It's really, really satisfying.
All the meeples are different as well.
Yeah.
They're really cute looking.
Yeah.
I like the Knight. The Knight is my favorite.
For me, I've played the 3 games, as in they have got another game and I can't even remember the name of it, but there's Wild Serengeti, there's Life of the Amazonia, and this Wondrous Creatures. This is my favorite of the 3. And I would just say that this could be a problem, though, at 4 players. It's probably best at 2 or 3. Again, because there is a lot going on. It's very, very thinky. It can just be really long between turns, and it can get a bit frustrating. So I think it plays well at 2 or 3. It's very, very satisfying, very pretty. So if that's your thing, you might like this game.
Is that because when other players go before you, essentially they could do something that will change what you then have to do? You can't think of your move before they've really gone.
Oh, sometimes that happens, but it's more just it's the time. It's as I said, there was a lot of times when I played it on the weekend, we were sort of going, now I had the steps that I needed to do what I needed to do for the next 2 turns, and you have to bear in mind that some of us are menopausal, but we'd forgotten the first step, and we go, oh God, now we have to go back again and think about it. And that can just take a long time, and people can get frustrated. I mean, we're very accommodating with that, but I just thought I'd mention it because some people do say that at the high play counts, it runs long. Now, you can fix that quite easily because the timer in the game are these trophies, which are for achievements, and you just take out a couple of trophies and it fixes that. And so it's not so long. I just thought I would mention it, that if you were planning on playing it at 4, it goes a bit long. But that's Wondrous Creatures.
Jules, you have been playing a game that I saw you playing at PlayCon, and that I really almost backed it myself. Like, I was real close.
All right. Yes. So the game I'm sizzling today is called Wroth. It was one of the few games I did play at PlayCon, and I have played it since then as well. Wroth is produced by Chip Theory Games, and the design and artwork was done by Manny Trembling, who does Dice Throne. So they have a close collaboration relationship going on at the moment. There's more games coming from Manny with Chip Theory Games actually at the moment, which I did get given some copies at Gen Con, some small box games. One of them called Neon Knights, which I haven't played yet, but has that same striking artwork, which is pretty cool. But Wroth is a area control battling game that plays in under an hour. And that was the pitch and the mission of it when it was on Kickstarter. And I think they nailed that. There's only so much you can do to a game to have it play in under an hour. And for me, the game doesn't do anything revolutionary or super, super cool, but it just hits elements of area control fighting games I like, and it does it quickly.
It fulfills the promise, right? The promise is under the hour,
Yep.
and you don't go and play it, and it's an hour and 50 minutes.
Yep.
And you're like,
100%. And I think that's one of the things that at least I try to keep in context when we're talking about games on the podcast. But often some people go, this game's better than this game. But it's often good to think about, but what was the goal in that game being produced? Was it trying to be better than this other game you're comparing it to, or was it trying to do something else? I'll put it this way, there are plenty of other area control fighting games in my collection that I love way more than Wroth, but they take a lot longer to play. One of the core goals of this was to get that type of game in under an hour, and they did a really great job of it. So in Wroth, as I said, it's area control. You're going to get points collected for each of the areas when you go through scoring those at the end of each round, and it's the first person to hit a certain point threshold that triggers the end of the game. The point values get randomly spread out, and so that gives a bit of variety in the game. Each of the factions that you choose are asymmetric. You get to choose one really powerful ability out of 3 of them to add a little more asymmetry when you play that faction over and over again. And essentially the core mechanic of the game is you're going to be rolling a bunch of action dice and drafting them. So you've got actions to deploy troops into a deployment zone. You've got ones that move them around. You've got attack dice. You've got dice that give you more gems, which are sort of a currency in the game to put out elite units that all have special abilities for your faction. But the game was so easy to learn. I just read the rulebook once and was like, cool, we're ready to play. It was super, super easy to pick up. And when I backed it, I got the base game and all the expansions. So there's lots of factions to play with, and I haven't done them all yet, obviously. But it's just fun. I think one of the things I like about it is you have this tension between, do I spread out to other areas really thinly to try and pick up a bunch of points, or do I contest an area that someone's going for? And the way that the board is designed is kind of like a big hill. So you've got tiers of areas that move up and up towards the middle of the board. And it's actually you have to expend a good amount of actions to move your units to the highest peak of the board, which is in the middle. And it might not necessarily be the area that is worth the most victory points, depending on how the markers get spread out at the start of the game. But it would be an area that people might not want to expend a bunch of actions to chase you into that area. Because one of the cool things is if you control the area but there's still opponents in there, you just get the points printed on there. If you control an area and no one is there, you get even more points. And then your elite units, if they're there, also score additional points if there's no one in the area. It's called dominating the area if it's completely free of opponents. And so it definitely has that element of when you're playing at 4 players, you're sort of jostling and making sure that no one gets too far ahead. And you have this ebb and flow of building up your supply of troops to then deploy them out on the map again. But yeah, like I said, area control, fighting, plays in under an hour, easy to learn from the rule book, and action drafting for the round. You might get rounds where you go, cool, I've set up I've got heaps of troops on the board. I'm ready to attack. And someone rolls the dice for the round, and there's just no attack actions. It's like all movement. And you're like, ah. So there's definitely a bit of randomness in it, but it's really, really fun.
Does that playmat come in the box?
Sure does. Yep.
Yeah.
It comes neoprene mat. It rolls up in the box. Everything fits in the box.
Oh.
Are the player boards neoprene?
Yes, the player boards are neoprene.
Yeah.
Everything's neoprene. It's chip 3, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but I thought like maybe this time.
No, they still did all the neoprene mats, got the dice, all the cards of the PVC cards. It's a really nice tight production. It's not a humongous box as well, which is really cool. All the expansion content fits in the main box. You don't have to have extra boxes, which was really nice. And I'll mention one more thing. I really appreciated this mechanic because when you draft the dice, there's always going to be an extra one, and it's the person who's in last place that gets that extra dice. It's a nice, clean catch-up mechanism. It's just one extra action. It's not going to be enough to propel them into first place, but it helps them catch up a little bit. And then it might be a different person's in last place now, and they get an extra action. In the games I've played, it hasn't been the make or break of the game, but it's been enough to keep people in the game, in contention.
It's another thing as well. It's a new game, right? And I've seen it a couple of times. I saw a PlayCon a couple of times, actually. But as soon as you look at it, you know it's Wroth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's instantly recognizable. You don't look at it and go, what beige Euro is this?
Yeah.
What game is this that's been reskinned and made by another company?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's definitely like that. You instantly know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good part for having it on the table. People will know what it is and go, this is Wroth, and do I want to play it or not?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's Wroth by Chip 3 Games. So for me, there is a standout game that I have been binging the living hell out of, thanks to my very good friend Haig, who left it here, and I used that beyond belief to the point of, unfortunately, on Wednesday, he couldn't make our game night, and I was secretly a little bit happy about it because it meant I could play it the following night again.
Oh my goodness.
And that is Castles of Burgundy. Now, I am playing the Special Fancy Pants Awaken Realms edition with
it's very nice.
Every single upgrade it has. The neoprene mat, the acrylic tiles of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything upgraded. The castles, the lot. It is some production. I tell you what. I am smiling just talking about it. I found that I know a lot of people have played this game already. A lot of people have talked about this game. A lot of people played the old one and they liked the old one. And, a lot of those people backed the new one because they played the old one so much. And whenever I looked at it, I was always like, yeah, cool. Like, pick up a tile, place a tile. I'm not super fussed. But when I started to play it, I really liked it straight away with picking up like 3 tiles and placing one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. So it gives me good vibes. And I just played it and played it and played it. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. And it's just so simple. It's so smooth. I mean, Finn played it. The first game he played, he came, I think, second or last. And it took him about 2/3 of the game till he really kind of started getting how you could maximize these stupid combos that led on to other things that gave you extra actions and blah, blah, blah. Second game, he beat me, MJ, down easy by like 20 odd points. And then I played him again the following day and he beat me by 1 point, which was
whoa.
Yeah, it was so sad. But like, it's just a really good, tight game that's super simple to play. And I think one of its benefits is that even though you could hate draft a couple of tiles and take some tiles from other players and stuff that you may see that they potentially want as well as you can take them and hold them for later and things like that. There's not like a massive amount of interaction. So I think for me, one of the benefits is while a player is taking their turn, you can just have a bit of a chat. You can just have a bit of a natter and it's nice. And then that player places their tiles and then the conversation sort of moves on. Like I kind of like that with this game. It's just super smooth. I can see why it's in so many top 10s. Like everyone loves this game. And I really love it. I've looked a few times online to buy it, but I'm not buying it with the cardboard tiles.
No, you can't.
Now I've been spoiled.
Yeah, you can't go back.
Can't go back. So it's just, it's brilliant. And essentially what you do is you all have 2 dice each. You roll the 2 dice. They land. You look at the numbers. You lock them into your little slot, and they become what your actions are. Those actions interact with different parts of the board depending on the dice numbers you've rolled. You can swing them up and down by spending workers, or you can use coins to buy stuff from the central pool of tiles that are available. But that's really it. You just you move the dice, you take the tile, you put it in your little board, and you supply, and it's yours, so that you've saved it so that no one else can take it. And then maybe you don't have that number available now, and on a future turn, on a future roll, you'll be able to move that dice down and then take your tile and place out on the board that matches the dice number to where you're trying to put it. And there's like multiple colors of things. There's buildings that are beige, mines that are grey, ships are blue, castles are red, livestock is green, and the monasteries are yellow. And the monasteries tend to give you ongoing benefits and also endgame victory points, depending on what you place. But you guys have played this, right, Jules? You played this?
Yes.
You played the Fancy Pants one?
I have played the Fancy Pants one.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. Really good game.
It's so beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. And I cannot fault this game.
Nope, me neither.
I agree. I completely agree. It's so smooth. And you know what the funny thing is? It's old, but it doesn't feel old.
No, yeah, I agree.
And that obviously the production has helped that a lot. If you play the original, I would say it probably looks a little bit dated to a degree, but the gameplay is still really smooth. It's really fun. It's really simple. It's obviously that kind of almost like Calico thing where you're stuck in that region. You can't build outside of it. You have to build inside, and you're just trying to maximize your points and try and get as much as you can out of the board you have. And I was lucky enough on the weekend, I visited Ingrid and Shane, and we were playing Amsterdam actually until playing Amsterdam because MJ's Dutch, and we were like, sweet, play Amsterdam. And then we moved on to that and played Castles of Burgundy because I found out it was Ingrid's favorite game. And I was like, I love that game. Let's just play it. So we played it. But we added the Vineyard expansion in as well. And it was the first time I got to play with a Vineyard. Now, I didn't interact with a Vineyard a lot because I just didn't feel confident doing it. And I didn't know how much benefit it has. And MJ used it a little bit, but Shane and Ingrid used it a lot. And Ingrid smashed us. Like the end game scoring that she got from the Vineyard was massive. It was just, it's really good. I think it's another one of those ones where like you could just add the Vineyard in whenever you want. Like you don't have to add it. You can add it. But I think once it's in there, I think it does add a lot and it makes it interesting, and it has different abilities that the core game doesn't have. And I would say a lot of people that have added it would probably say they'd never take it out. But yeah, Castle of Burgundy is absolutely top tier game, and loved every. I've just like I hasn't been. You know what? I'd love to talk about how it packs up really well in that box.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't packed it up since before PlayCon. It's just been sitting there being played and played and played. Like, the bags are behind me. Look, those are the bags.
It's so good you don't have to pack it up.
Yeah, I haven't bothered. It's just every time anyone like MJ or that are free, I'm like, can we play Castles of Burgundy? And then
it plays so well at 2 as well.
100%.
It's super fast. Yeah.
2, it's so quick. And yeah, that was the difference. We played it a couple of times at 3, but then when Finn and I played it at 2, we were already in the the third or fourth round, second to last round. And when I told him, I was like, yep, this is the second to last round. He's like, what? I have so much to do in so little time. Like, he started panicking because it does go really quick at 2.
Some people don't like it at 2 because there's only one mine available each round, which is my go-to strategy. I always try and get the mine, always.
I like the mine. The mine is good. I do like the mine. But yeah, that's Castles of Burgundy. I mean, a lot of people have this game in their collection. Like you it's like that. You know, someone says like that saying like you're only 7 people away from anybody in the world. Have you ever heard that saying?
Yeah, like 7 steps to Kevin Bacon.
There you go. Is that what they call it? 7
yes.
steps to Kevin? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, you're probably 3 steps away from Castles of Burgundy, all of us. Because We all know someone who knows someone that has all in game, right? So
yeah.
it's. I mean, if you haven't had the opportunity to play it, I really say just give it a go because it's great. Cool. So that was my Sizzle Castles and Burgundy. And with that, we shall move on to some brief news and announcement. Just a quick one about the Brisbane game day. It is on the 6th of September. Tickets are on sale still on Eventbrite. Check it out. Bring your friends. Actually, I was talking to someone on the Board Game Barbecue Facebook group who was like, I bought my ticket to come to the first event, like super excited. And I was like, if you have any questions, give me a holler, blah, blah, blah. And then MJ commented, and I was like, that's really unlike MJ to comment on it. But it's actually her friend, and she knows this person.
Oh, right.
So she's like, I know that person. So, oh, wow. So, yeah, lots of new people are attending. So last week's question of the pod was, how do you deal with the post-con blues? I'd say it would be a bit different for you, Jules, with Gen Con. I'd say that would be...
Yeah, you just go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was no blues for you.
Exactly right. You know what? I haven't listened to the entire pod. I haven't got that far on last week's episode. However, I fixed my post-con blues by spending like 6 hours driving home talking to Lauren about 2026.
Yeah.
Like ideas, planning, other things, like just So yeah, that's how I dealt with it. I just got more excited for doing the next one. So cool. Jules, would you like to read out some of the Facebook?
Absolutely. So from Facebook, we got Jimmy Boss said, blues? What blues? Life's too short for the blues. Keep looking forward. It's a positive outlook.
100%. I love that.
And we had Katie McKenzie said, went to the League of Extraordinary Gamers winter retreat. So it's just follow one con with another con and just keep going to cons so you never get the blues is what I'm picking up there.
Is that like never getting a hangover by drinking?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Is that the same thing? Yeah.
Yes, just keep drinking.
Keep drinking. Yeah.
It was really good because I went to the same retreat and it was really great because some of the people from PlayCon were there. So it was like a mini PlayCon, except in your pajamas.
They should call it Play On.
Play On. There we go.
Post PlayCon.
Copyright that.
Yeah. I'm writing that down for next year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Dana, would you read the Discord ones?
Ruben says, the post-con blues are strong and hard to get a group together to play this month, but taking the opportunity to celebrate other aspects of the hobby, namely quite a few solo games and a few BGA plays. Micro Hero Hercules delivered recently, and it's really been a delightful solo experience. Haven't heard of that one before, Micro Hero Hercules, but I was straight onto BGA, man. Straight onto it. And Ray's Mark says, my number one tool to get me out of the dumps is getting together with friends to play RPGs. Most of you know I particularly enjoy GMing, so even prepping for a session lets me escape somewhere where my mind can get free of the day-to-day trials and tribulations. Fortunately, we have a session coming up this Friday, and I'm really, really looking forward to killing, laughing, and taking crap while we create an awesome story and have some fun. Oh, and not taking crap, talking crap. Sorry.
Hey, taking crap, talking crap. All good. Same thing. Sweet. Well, thank you very much for those answers, everybody. And yeah, so for this week's question of the pod, what game would you like to see deluxeified? TM. I'm sure there's a trademark on deluxeified. Is deluxeified a real word, Jules?
We're going with it. People know what we mean.
It's a real word.
We're using it. Someone tell us if it's actually real. But yeah, I mean, look at the Castles of Burgundy, right? Awaken Realms has done that. It's had 2 Kickstarter campaigns or Game Fail campaigns, whatever you want to say, and they've both been amazing. They're now doing Puerto Rico as well. That's also done really well. They've got Agricola in the pipeline. They've got Agricola Zombie Edition.
Yep.
As well. That's going to come.
Yeah, there's a zombie edition coming.
You're not joking.
No.
That is so funny.
You get to harvest zombies.
I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if you're just trying to farm while fending off zombies or if you're harvesting them.
I don't know.
I hope you harvest them because that would be brilliant. Who knows? I don't know enough about it. And then there's lots of other games doing it. Ark Nova's doing a version that's been deluxified. Everdell, to a degree, kind of did it when they sort of
Oh, no,
all
they
the other
did it.
stuff.
They did it, all right.
They did the big coffin. Like, there's a lot of games out there that do go to deluxified, and you can also obviously, there's a market for it, right? Because people are buying them.
Sure,
you're going to buy that Ark Nova thing day one, right, Dana?
Yep.
Yep.
I have already pre-ordered it.
There you go. So, I mean, I think there's good value in it because I was sort of talking to Shane and Ingrid about it and saying, like, okay, granted, this game is quite a lot of money. However, if you've played it 20 times with 4 adults and each time you play it, it's like 2.5 hours long. When you start to divide that up per hour, it really starts to get to being a small amount of money.
Yeah.
So, and good value as long as you get the plays of it. And Castles of Burgundy is a prime example. That's going to just get played and played and played for years. I can see why people have it because it's very much like, oh, I don't really know what to play. Should we play Castles of Burgundy? It's always going to be yes. So, yeah, I think that there's a big market for it. A lot of people do it. So, Jules, is there a particular game you have in mind that you would like to see deluxeified?
I was looking through the list of games I've been playing the past year, and there's varying degrees to which games can be deluxeified. Obviously, Awakened Realms went to the nines, right? They did, miniatures for things that don't even need them, and acrylic tiles instead of cardboard and things like that. And then there's games.
I'm just going to vouch though. You need them acrylic tiles. I'm sorry. You have to have them.
But it's not essential to play the game. It's just very nice.
It is. I'll tell you now. It's essential.
I think there are a few games that I'm thinking of where I want just a little bit of a deluxeified upgrade. So to give some context and example, right, one of the games I've played in the past year is Soda Smugglers. And bottle caps is like the currency in the game, and the base game comes with cardboard ones. But there's nice plastic ones that stack on each other, which is a deluxeified upgrade that's really cool. There's a game, one of the games I love that's been in my top 10 for the past few years is Oriflamme. It doesn't have any deluxeified upgraded components, and I'd probably like to see that, even if it was just metal coins or the directional spear in the middle of the table is like a metal one. Just some deluxeified pieces for that would be really cool. And because it comes in a trilogy as well, I'd like a box that stores all 3 versions in the one, and I don't have to have multiple boxes. So like a deluxeified storage solution for that would be super, super cool. The other game I'm thinking that I'd like deluxeified a little bit. Oh man, I was thinking of... Actually, I was thinking of Strike. So that's just throwing dice in a bowl, but
that would be really nice.
A really big jumbo version.
My wooden fruit bowl that we used.
That was good. That was so much better. That was great.
That was good, but really massive dice that you throw into this huge arena would be super fun.
That would be. That is such a good idea. Strike.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, like, it would. I mean, I think that I've seen it already. So Barrage has a big box coming.
Mm-hmm.
I did not back that.
Oh.
Because big boxes are, I find, places where games go to die. It's the case. So for me, I didn't back it because I have my system. But I would love, and you know what? I looked at the insert and stuff, and to be honest, I am super picky, and I was like, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like how that's laid out. So I would like a really nice version of that. Even like to the point of maybe having the maps side on.
Oh, yeah.
So that you could sort of pluck them out like a record.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than having to get the whole thing out.
Yes.
And then get the stuff at the bottom. And the same goes for Age of Steam. Like a storage solution for Age of Steam with all the maps. Like I've just backed another 2 packs of maps on GameFound. I have all the other maps. I also have added extra maps that are just individual maps that they release as like 2-player maps and stuff that they have. So I have an abundance of maps. And Haig printed me out a really cool, like 3D printed insert where you can actually slide all the different components into this sort of coffin thing that slides out with a drawer, and it has the components and the name of the map on the side of the actual drawer. So you go, oh, okay, cool. We want to play China. You pull the little map out, the little thing out, and any excess components that are for that map.
That's cool.
That's a great idea. However, I've got 5 boxes now, about to get another 2 boxes. So that's going to bring me up to 7 boxes.
Oh my goodness.
Just the maps.
That's a lot.
So I would like a similar system. I actually might look at making something myself because I'm not, I can probably do something, but essentially where I can have them side on, almost like I just need to take a filing cabinet on wheels everywhere I go. Just pull the drawer out and then because I like that the maps would be side on so that you can just slide them out, because digging through the box and stuff, I don't know. There has to be a better solution, but that box would end up being so big. I don't know if it's feasible at all. Hey, that's for someone else to figure out. Not my problem. That's just what I want. Yeah. So that's my 2. Dana, do you have any?
I'm thinking, well, you mentioned Ark Nova already, and Lost Ruins of Arnak have come out with their big box.
Yes.
Which I had a peek at the LXG Winter Retreat. Very nice. And it's beautiful. And I've already deluxeified all the components as best I can. Like little compasses. They're like real compasses.
Yeah.
So,
so many people have done that one.
Yeah, I love that. Anyway, so those were the first 2 that came to mind. But probably the other one that I have been playing a bit lately that I really enjoy, and it's in a similar vein to Agricola, would be Caverna. I think Caverna would do very well in a Kickstarter, like deluxeified version. And especially because they're like little cave dwellers.
Mm-hmm.
Those miniatures would look really cool. And they're like little warriors, and they have little shields. That would be so cool because you upgrade the shields.
Oh,
and
yes.
they become more and more powerful throughout the game. They could have like a little shield that like clips on.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool. I love that. Oh, that would be so beautiful. Yeah, but that would be a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think, it matters what the community believe, and we would love to hear what you guys would like to see deluxeified and go nuts. Like if you have suggestions like Dana with the shields, put it in there so we know what you would like to see. And maybe it's a storage solution. Maybe it's because maybe you're colorblind and a bunch of games in a series you really like, but they're not colorblind friendly and you want to see that. Like whatever works for you guys, just we'd like to hear. With that, we shall move on to the Fired Up, the right at the very end. No noise, Dana, today? Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Thank God. Okay, move on.
Sorry, I got distracted.
So we have
Quick one.
That's a good one. I like that. That's perfect.
That was igniting a match in a room full of gas.
Yeah. So just a quick shout out to our new Patreons. We have a new Patreon. It's QBN Geek. Thank you very much for your support, QBN Geek. Please join the Discord. Come and hang out. Put your hand up and say, yo, I'm QBN Geek, because we might not know who you are. So
I want to know if you're from Queanbeyan. I am sure that this person is from Queanbeyan.
There's a strong chance.
Yes.
Cool. Well, hey, I got no idea where that is, but I believe you.
It's near Canberra.
So if you want to support the Board Game Barbecue podcast, you can always go to patreon.com/Board Game Barbecue. You can sign up to get exclusive content and also just hang out at things like our Patreon parties and stuff that we do at PAX and other different events. Also, if you can't contribute, that's completely fine. Just come onto the Facebook group, join the Discord, come and hang out and talk rubbish with all us about board games and movies and all sorts of other things that we get up to. You can also leave a 5-star rating on Spotify, which is cool, and the same on Apple Podcasts. Actually, I haven't checked on podcasts for a while, so we might have a 5-star rating on it that Dan has to come back and tell and read it out.
The oath that never dies.
Yeah, exactly right. So that would be awesome. But that's cool, and all the links for those things will be in the show notes. So anyway, our Fired Up section, this is basically what we're looking forward to. I have a multitude of things. It's going to read them off. Dana and her husband are coming over for breakfast, or we're going to Dana's for breakfast. I can't remember the plan, but there is a breakfast happening.
I'm just letting you know you told me that you were booking a cafe. So
Cool. Sweet.
just in case you forgot.
Oh, no, I definitely booked that, right? I'm just going to put a note down here somewhere. Cool. Sweet. So that's all done. And game day coming up. Awesome. Finn and I are still watching some old movies. So I want to watch The Lost Boys with Finn because that's it's a horror film, but it's not too scary, but it's definitely a little bit scary. So that's kind of a good one to start with for vampires anyway. I have a board game related thing that I'm excited about. I've got a game called Etherstone that arrived.
Ooh.
And it's a Kickstarter that was done by Simone Luciani and Virginio Gigli, sorry. And it's kind of, from what I sort of saw on the Kickstarter a long time ago, a bit Res Arcana-like. You have a limited draft of cards and you build this engine and attack central monsters in the middle, but you're also building up points doing other things for your cards. There's a bunch of different races, and the card art is beautiful. If you get a chance to look it up, that's what drew me in, actually, was Simone Luciani, Res Arcana-like, and beautiful cards. So I was in. So, that's everything from me. What about yourself, Dana?
I have been smiling all week because I honestly, I can't get the smile off my face. I stayed up till 2:00 in the morning on Tuesday morning and I booked my Dice Tower West tickets. I have a VIP badge.
Oh no.
And I'm not joking. There is a luncheon with the Dice Tower crew and I'm going. I'm going to be there.
I'm going to email Tom and tell him to watch out.
I just can't believe it.
I'm just going to email the local police. Tell Tom.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. And on the there's quite a big crew, it seems, on the Thinker Themer Discord that go to Dice Tower West.
Yeah, they have like an annual gathering almost now.
Yeah, like the Joey
fam, yep.
Joey fam or whatever. So anyway, I've infiltrated the Joey fam. And I'm gonna hang out with the Joey fam, and there's like things because I'm getting there 3 or 4 days early, and so we're going to be doing some sightseeing. Hopefully I can tag along anyway. I'm going to tag along, hopefully, but I can't believe it. Like I'm actually going to see him. I have to prepare though. I've got to honestly. I just have to have like a notebook with some pre-made sentences. That's all, because I don't want to come off like an idiot.
You do know Tom's actually quite tall.
What?
Yeah, Tom's actually quite a tall man. He doesn't look like it on the videos because the camera angle's always like looking slightly down towards him, but he's well over 6 foot. He's quite tall. He's,
you know what's
6'4", 6'3", 6'4".
Six. Yes, that's not ridiculous.
No, it's just
as long as he's 6'3" and below, he's fine. If he's 6'3" and above, Dana will just go, "Oh, you're really tall. You're really tall." That's all she'll do. But, that's all she'll say.
He was taller than I expected him to be in person because the camera angle's always like it makes him look short for whatever reason, but he's actually quite tall.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. But it is true. If he's got any kind of unusual features, I'd just blurt it out. It just comes out. So anyway, we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm very, very excited for that. So that's March next year. I'm going to the Ekka tomorrow. It's a yearly tradition that I take the kids to the Ekka, and we basically do the same thing, and we stay there from it when it opens. We literally line up from the opening time and we do not leave until it closes. And I cannot wait. It's going to be so good.
For those people that aren't Queenslanders or international listeners, what is Ekka?
It's like a yearly show, like the Royal Sydney Show or something
like
that.
Big carnival festival.
Yeah. It goes for roughly a week. And we have public holidays for it.
Dog shows, and they do
wood chopping,
cattle shows, and wood chopping, and goat racing, and pig racing, and stuff. Like
they do. Like you're laughing. They do that.
No, I know. Yeah. I've been to these shows before.
You can go and have a look at the cows. Oh my God, their nuts are so big. You go and see the prize winning.
cashew department. I hope you're talking about.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, look, I
Oh, they're
can't talk.
huge.
I was.
Oh,
It was actually. Yeah, sorry, not that.
interesting segue.
Yeah, sorry. Interesting segue. I was actually eating some of the cows as a steak that were at the Echo show, like as part of that range.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, it was real good, and they told me that they were prize-winning cows that were going to the Echo, and I was like,
I've got one more thing I'm excited for. I am playing. I don't know if you've heard of a game called Tales of Arabian Nights.
Oh yeah,
you heard of that?
yes,
Yeah, I'm going to be playing the new version of that, which is called Tales of Arthurian Nights, on Thursday with Kerry, one of the volunteers from the game day, and I'm very excited. Yeah,
I love Arthurian stuff.
Jules,
what about yourself, mate?
So I mentioned earlier in the podcast a couple of games from Bitewing. The kind folks there have sent us more games to review, which is really cool.
Wow.
So they've sent their Cosmic Trilogy of games that were on their latest Kickstarter, and that was Orbit and Silos and Ego. So those 3 games have come my way, so I'm very excited to give those a go. They're all Reiner Knizia redesigns, and that seems to be a thing they focus heavily on, is re-implementing, doing up the artwork for old designs that he has. And look, I'd say most of them have actually been a hit for me. I've really enjoyed them, so I'm very excited for that. The other thing that I'm excited for, I didn't think I was excited for, but when I got the box, I became more excited. So Dana sent a copy of a game in the post to me. I guess that's for the whole podcast, and that's a copy of Luthia. And
well, it did a bit of a loop.
Yeah, it did have a bit of a loop, but it made its way to me. It's going in the library, but when I opened it up, I punched all the pieces, organized it. I'm like, this game actually looks cool. I have no idea how it plays. I know it's a Euro, but I want to give it a go.
I played it again. I played it with Dana too, and I played it again on Wednesday, and it was brilliant. It's really good, and it's actually got way more punch in than I even remembered. Like it's heavier than I remembered.
Yeah,
actually.
I think it's sitting at like a 3.7 on BGG, so it's up there.
It's pretty fair. That's pretty fair.
Yeah,
I'd say it's Kanban-esque, but it's great. Like it's a really good game. I really enjoyed playing it again, and yeah, it was just. And even though I hadn't played it for a while and I forgot a fair bit about it, as soon as the game started to get motion, it did feel quite smooth.
Yeah, awesome.
Very easy to keep going. So
yeah,
cool.
Heaps of new games to play. Very excited about it.
Yeah. Well, that's enough from us. Thank you very much for listening. Hope everyone has a great couple of weeks, and we shall see you on the next one. That's enough from me. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hooroo.
We good?
1 2 1 2 1 2.
I have a tick.
You have a tick?
Ticks?
I've got a tick. No, not a tick, as in a tick. Like a green tick, like I'm good.
Like
doesn't mean anything.
You've got a tick still attached to you. I was like, what? That's a weird way to start a recording.
Well, at least we know the levels work.
There's the secret segment.